As a nanny, she had her own bedroom and bathroom in Greenberg, Ginsberg family's home, and where she could develop her own black and white film. She was a very interesting character. She, I think, like a lot of geniuses, she had problems communicating with people in the wider world. She was very eccentric. She kind of wore men's shoes. She always wore hats. She didn't have a lot of friends. So I think this was her way of communicating with the world. This really was her life. I mean, this is how she saw the world. This is how she interacted with the world. Well, there's one obvious contender for that, which was a photographer who she lived with, called Jean Bertrand, who we believe was in a relationship with Vivian's mother, Marie. And he was a portrait photographer, actually an award-winning portrait photographer. And there's quite a few images in the archive of Vivian in rooms or taking photographs of people in rooms with lots of portraits all over the place. So, it seems like she had a very early influence. I just think graphically this is really nice. You've got the very curvaceous kind of 1950s motor car in the background, which really accentuates the kind of the graphics going on in the frame, and then you've got a reflection of it looks like it might be like a theatre or like some kind of prominent shop in the background. She seems to be quite affluent. She's got sunglasses on the left hand, she's got the watch on. There's so much going on, and this is quite interesting for Vivian because she took an astounding amount of self-portraits. There's just so much depth to this image, and I think she had a kind of dual personality thing going on, where I think she was very confident in some ways and quite insecure in other ways, and yet she had an obsession with self-portraits. And there's one we can have a little look at in a bit, where there's a man literally lifting. He's like a removal man lifting a mirror out of the back of a van, and as he does that, she's standing in the background and she's taking a photograph. You can see her in the mirror, and she's got this kind of like half smile. And she doesn't smile in any of the pictures, yes. And it's one of the few times she's kind of smiling, but it's like quite sinister. And I just love the way in the 50s people dressed a certain way. People wouldn't really leave the house. Adults wouldn't leave the house without a tie and a hat. And it's just really reflective of that time. But definitely one of the most kind of interesting faces from her portraits. You can really see this man's life in the lines of his face. She specifically photographed the kind of poorer areas within cities. I think she never had much money herself, and I think she kind of really resonated with her. But you just get this real sense of people living like just within their means, and like not actually having toys and playing with tires and things, which I think is quite relevant for the type of neighborhood where she would have been photographing. And I mean that's very American. People that I think, unlike England, you've got people talking out of their front windows, and I think in a more affluent neighbourhood you'd have like the staircases and the stoeps, as we call them in South Africa. But everything's like happening on the street. So this is really her. This is her territory. This is her theatre.